Oh, right, tonight's a guild battle. Oh, I forgot about that. Ooh, this one's gonna be a pain in the butt. This one's gonna be a pain in the butt. Guild battle, guild battle. So first things first, let's jump in and check out the boss. We've got Gallon Balor Rex. Weak to water, resistant to electric. Wants all 3 sigils. There's no damage sigil phase. Quadruped and terrestrial. Counterattacks when dealt damage during lightning supercharge, inflicts water potency down and removes most buffs from the target with extreme pressure and greater extreme pressure, both of which deal damage proportionate to the target's current HP. Physical defense up and physical attack down are effective against this enemy as it has powerful physical attacks. I mean, obviously that makes the Sephiroth weapon very strong. I don't have to tell people that, right? That's obvious. We knew that was going to be a thing. But to play around that, there's only 2 featured weapons in the game that can really do that, and we'll talk about both of them, because I think that's probably what most people are going to end up using. But this is a difficult thing to play around. It's not immune to any debuffs in terms of physical attack and magic attack and physical defense down, all that nonsense. Immune to poisons, darkness, silence, stun, fatigue, fog, stop. No stop. It is not immune to enfeeble. It's not immune to the debuffing effects. Okay. Okay. All right, first things first, same thing we always do. We're gonna go ahead and delete all of our parties. We're gonna build everything back from scratch. All right, start with solo 1. We're gonna start with our buff score. We're gonna go auto formation, points, go. Lucia, Vincent. Lucia and Vincent, okay. I was like, man, that's like all Lucia weapons. Surely there's somebody else in here. No, they're all both of them. They both have very similar looking weapons. Although most of the weapons in here are Lucia's, I will admit. I think there's only one. I think it's just these 4 Vincent weapons. No, there's 2 more here. There's 6. There's 6. Man, all of my weapons, wow, all of them are OB10. That's crazy. In terms of gear, oh, you're not gonna get that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Bye-bye. That was Tifa's water outfit. Not gonna have that. That's mine. That's mine. You don't get to have that. If I need to, I can always use her New Year's outfit instead. But I'd rather have the higher damage. Surely, I'm gonna assume that I want the higher damage. All right, so it is not immune to physical defense down. It is not immune to physical attack and magic attack debuffs, and they actually recommend it, which is interesting. So what are we gonna do? This is where I started to come into the problem last week when I started talking about Sephiroth's banner, right? Because now we're up against it right now, and I'm looking at our builds going, okay, like what do I do to maximize our DPS, right? Because it's a physical attacker, so you don't want Aerith, right? Instead of making it a magic attack user, so we could use that free Kamura wand that they gave us, they made it a physical attacker, which makes it so that we've basically got 2 options for physical attack up all allies that also has a physical defense down effect. One is Zack with Black Whiskers and Surfer Blade. And the other, I guess just Surfer Blade. Just Surfer Blade. It's physical attack up and physical defense down. And then Angeal also has an ability to do physical attack, physical defense, and have a physical defense debuff with the Greatsword. You can't really bring Zack because then you wouldn't have a defense buff, right? Barret also has a water resist down buff, but that doesn't really do us any good, right? Because we need physical attack up is what we need. Sephiroth's new weapon does have physical defense down, doesn't it? Yes. Okay. So what we're missing then is exploit weakness, right? We've got a physical defense debuff. We've got a water damage up. Tifa's got enfeeble with her water damage weapon. So all I need is physical attack and then exploit weakness. And then obviously physical defense up if we can fit it in. Which just goes back to Angeal, man, but then you lose out on exploit weakness in the build. And there's no way to give your entire team exploit weakness other than like bringing Yuffie and using Arctic Star and Rocker's guitar. But That's pretty slow, and then you don't have a defense buff, which I don't know if that's going to end up being necessary anyways. It very well may not be, right? But keep in mind that the team I just told you, if I use Tifa, Sephiroth, Angeal, right, I don't have a heal. Like, there's no heal on that team. So that's pretty risky. Oh, it wants you to use Matt, huh? Because that Desperado Rapier is a physical attack up and a lightning resist down. Or a lightning resistance up, rather. Does a physical attack increase for the entire team and a lightning resist increase, which that makes you take less damage from lightning damage, and it's a heal, right? This is what they're thinking of. You still don't have the exploit weakness, but then you could bring that with like Centipede, and you would have like 2 decent options there too. Interesting. There's a lot of different variety here. This is what we were talking about with the water build too. Like the lack of a good option means that there are a lot of possibilities, which is obviously a good and a bad thing. So the biggest issue that we're going to run into here is that we do not have exploit weakness for our entire team. I don't know whether it's even going to matter though. So let me just build it out like I would normally. I'm going to do Sephiroth, Angeal, and Tifa. I am under the impression that Sephiroth will likely be my higher damage dealer here. Let me just check percentages here. So it'd be Overture and then Tempest. He's just going to have both. Because he's going to be my water resist down. Sephiroth is. So I'm basically going to have him come in, start with Tempest to lower the water resist down, and then just spam this weapon until the water resist debuff falls off. Switch back to Tempest for that one hit, and then go back to Overture again until the water resist falls off again. Which tells me that I'm probably... Let me put both of her weapons on and see what the stats are. Where is... There it is, Shining Gloves. And then Leather Combat. This is 940. And then the other one is 1060, right? Or 1040? 1080, wow. With no brand, yeah, okay. Okay. I don't think this has a brand either. It doesn't. I usually brand them during this week. Which tells me what? That I probably want Sephiroth as my primary then. We'll give Tifa Tidal Flare. And then give Sephiroth Tidal Wave with all my water potency stuff. My water potency materia is dog water. I think I got one good one. Yeah, this is the only good one that I rolled. The rest of them are all like fine. I haven't gotten another physical one above 8% since this 11% one rolled, which is a bummer. Oh, it works out because I'll probably want something for Sigil Break Phase here anyways. So I'll just give him my highest physical attack triangle materia, which is an arrow flow. There's no shot. That's the best triangle thing I have. Oh God. Okay. I'll fix that over the course of this week. That I can't have that. That's not gonna work. Okay. Water potency's at 6. Physical attack is maxed out. So this is pretty easy then, right? We just have to put on something. Probably feathered gloves. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. Right on the nose. Great. And then I'll just give him the 2 best physical attack options, right? So, enemy launcher and Mad Minute. Oh, I can't use Mad Minute. It's on the freaking banner. Let me see if I can't replace that. Oh, man. That'd be a huge dump off just for me to have some efficient ability. I don't actually need the HP either. So let's ignore it and just get a different physical ability potency one that has 56. Which would be what? Angeal's Greatsword? Obviously that physical attack is useless, but that gets me up to the level 7 break. It gives me a 10% boost in damage, right? That's the only reason we're doing it. I could also give another like water potency ability if we really wanted to. But it would just give HP, and I think at that point we probably don't care, right? Probably not. All right, Angeal. Angeal would want Stalwart Integrity for sure. That's the #1. And then for the offhand weapon, he doesn't need a debuffing effect, right? Because Tifa already has it built into her weapon. He doesn't need water resist down because Sephiroth's doing that for us. You know what another good weapon is for this that I didn't consider until just now? The Lightning Sword. This has a physical attack debuff and a physical defense increase. This is a good offhand weapon for Angeal too. Not preferred, obviously, but a good one nonetheless. Maybe I just do the shovel. It's physical defense, all allies, and provoke, just to help give my other characters some survivability. Because, I mean, what else do we need? Really, right? Like, honestly. Oh, interesting. That's a fun option. I didn't even consider the summon sword as a water resist down option. That's actually really cool. Because I was thinking that I probably couldn't use Mithril Slasher. Like, it's fine, but it's low to mid, which would take a little too long. You have to do it twice, but it's got the provoke that I'm looking for too. Like, that's the ideal, right? You would use Mithril Slasher at OB6 with the mid to high water resist buff or debuff and the provoke to help draw the single target attacks away. And it's got a sigil boost slot that you're looking for. And then Sephiroth could bring in his exploit weakness weapon then, right? But I don't have that, so we're going with the other one. We're going with the other one. Odds are it's going to be the physical defense option here, but we'll wait and see. I don't think I'm going to need Ad Astra. Oh, so let me go over this really quickly as I'm building this out. The Army of One limit break is very, 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 very good, right? Very, very good on stages that do not have a timer, because you have to cast this to get to that +4 that you're looking for to be able to actually buff up your damage to that point, right? In something like a guild battle that has a clock, you can't cast this without taking time off the clock, right? So as a result, it means that this is not as good as bringing in a summon, right? Because you're probably not using it until the end of the fight. I say probably, not for certain, but probably not using it until the end of the fight. I'm just gonna bring Shiva. Let's bring physical defense down stuff, or physical defense up stuff rather. Physical defense up. No heal boost slot, because why would they? But we'll bring a heal just in case. Give him a water blow in that physical attack slot just for fun. And then for sub weapons, we're looking for all damage here because this is stage 1, right? So we're gonna do physical attack all allies. We're gonna do, what does this get me to? 43. Okay, so I can give him Daryl Platis then, right? Yes. Yeah, great. Because that gives him some buff debuff extension, which is awesome. And then just the highest attack on allies weapon I've got, which is this one. Alrighty then, let's build out the rest of Tifa now. Tifa is probably just gonna go in with physical attack materia, if I'm being honest. Because I don't think I've used any of them yet. Yeah, I haven't. Great. This the next slot? Perfect. Worked out great. And then sub-equipment slots, we're gonna do basically the same thing here. But since Sephiroth is our primary DPS, I am gonna try to bring in stuff to help support Sephiroth's damage as well. So let's go for water potency. We do need a little bit more physical attack on Tifa. I don't think this will do it. Oh, it does. Okay. Great. So we can just do Maritime Sword then. That works out great. And then other water potency option, we can do Stream Slasher. That gets, wow, that's perfect. Great. And then just physical ability potency. Probably Ultimatic. Sure. That works for me. Gives her some damage focus. And then Memoria. So we do want a Memoria here that's going to be physical focused. And it's quadruped, it said. Oh, it's this. It's going to be the memory of the 3X for soldiers, right? We don't have one that's water potency up. Even the newest one is another ice potency up because we needed a third one, obviously. So that's not going to work. But this Memoria of the 3X soldiers comes with physical damage against quadrupeds, 20% boost. So that's going to be the best one that we've got. Plus it gives us attack and physical defense. That's all the things that we want, right? That should be good enough. Let's check our total stats here. Tifa's at 18,000 attack. Sephiroth's at 16,000. And then we've got 664 on the defense side here. What happens if I change to this? Is it lower? It is by quite a bit. Okay. If I need to, I'll switch to this, just because this gives, not only does this give Angeal a little bit more damage with the Arcanum, but this would increase Sephiroth and Tifa's defense stats as well, if I needed to. It should be pretty okay, though. All right, let's jump in. So obviously, for stage 1, your main goal is to go in doing as much damage as humanly possible. You're not trying to, like, defense it out. I just tried to build out a good team to try to see what it would do. But our primary goal here is to try to do as much damage as humanly possible. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to wait and see if it does anything. Does lightning supercharge? I assume this is a sigil break phase. Okay. So we can just break the sigils here. I'll throw a provoke down just for fun. So you definitely want to break these sigils down first. That was fast. Oh, it's dead. Wow, that was fast. Okay. I might do better on this one than I thought. That was a stage 1 fight, obviously, so that's not going to be the end-all be-all. But again, when it comes to the stage 1 fight, especially for newer players, if you're watching this and you're a newer player and you don't have the buff score that I do, the buff score is really what matters for these guild battle fights. So if your buff score isn't at a high level, you're going to see your damage be much, much lower than mine, and that is absolutely normal. So don't freak out if you're not doing as much damage as you think you should be. These other stages are meant for players at varying stages of the game, right? So if you just started for the Final Fantasy 13 event, or if you just started recently in the 2nd anniversary, you already know, right? But if you just started recently over the last couple weeks because of the Final Fantasy 13 crossover, this is very normal for guild battles. You will have your time in the sun eventually, but as it stands today, if you don't have a bunch of Lucia and Vincent weapons at high overboost levels, you're probably going to struggle with this one, and that's perfectly normal. So don't freak out. Let's go straight to the stage 5 fight now. We're going to use the same team, no changing it. Let's take a look. I'm feeling pretty optimistic though. That was a very quick fight. So the big thing here is to not use any ATB at the start except for the physical defense buff, right? Which even that, I think is just more of a precaution than anything else. So we chill. And then just put it on semi at this point, right? We can actually go for this. And now we just go all in. Do that. Let's throw in Feeble on. Water resist wasn't down. I thought it was. I just assumed with the oh my god, did you see how much damage that did? That's AoE damage too, so even the oh shoot. Ooh. Silicon HP at this point. And you have to break this sigil break phase too, right? Because if you don't, let's see if extreme pressure. Oh, extreme pressure's magic attack. Oh, we're dead. I don't have magic defense up. Can you even break this? Hello? You can't even break this in time before this third attack goes off. Oh my gosh. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So obviously we wasted some ATB there, right? So let's see what the actual damage score was at the end too. 8%. That's not bad considering we got kind of screwed in the last phase there. All right, so let's try this again. We definitely want to try to do as much damage as possible after that first sigil phase. But then after that first sigil phase, there's got to be a point where we stop, right? because we want to save this ATB so we can break down those sigils as fast as humanly possible with overspeeds. Yeah, Sephiroth is so low already. And the water resist debuff is already gone. Oh, it never went on because his has got a an HP threshold to it. I think they die here. Nope. Wait. This gets rid of buffs. And does a water damage down. Man, the lag in these fights is so frustrating, dude. So frustrating. It's gonna lose its phase here, but I don't think it matters now, right? It's too late. Damage is already done. I can't actually put physical attack back up. This one's gonna be annoying. Oh god, dude. Because during that second sigil break phase, right, you can't actually deal damage to it because it's got defensive effects up. That's gonna be super annoying. Because remember that that's with enfeebled physical attack down and +4 physical defense with the leather combat gloves. Yeah, no, this is a tough one. I think the biggest issue is that Angeal doesn't have a sigil thing here, which means they probably expect you to bring this, right? Let's do that then. Not having a heal for this fight is brutal. Because the problem right now that I'm dealing with is that Sephiroth... Is Sephiroth getting single targeted in these fights? Let's watch that this time around. If Sephiroth is getting single targeted. Because I was under the impression that he wasn't, that it was AoE. And that maybe he's just getting tagged a little bit harder. But no, that is just AoE. Yeah, look, Sephiroth's so low HP, it doesn't matter. I can't get the water resist down. Wow. Sephiroth needs to not use his attack until this phase. I think that's the solution. Because I want that HP gain going off faster, right? And like, it's down, but like, at what cost at this point, right? Like, Sephiroth's down. I mean, it does have single target attacks, but like, not that many, right? Man, this is tough. It definitely feels like they want you to have Matt's weapon, right? I'm struggling to find a way around it. The thing that I'm thinking of is this. I'm going to show you really quick and show you what I'm thinking of. So like, the thing that I'm thinking of is you never touch this until after you get towards the second half of the phase, right? But right now we're just going to chill. We're going to put physical defense up and provoke on. And then just take out sigils here. I'm not going to turn it on to... Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. Now we'll turn it on semi. And now we use it. And then just try to like HP gain all of it back up. Just 2 more if it'll let me switch. Damn, dude. Damn. Like, damn. No, I'm not, it's doing too much damage regardless. Like, even if I put an HP weapon on, I don't think it's gonna matter that much. Like, what else are you supposed to do at this point? Because now it's just about surviving more than anything else. But, like, what does this take her from? 6,000 HP. I mean, that might matter. Because, like, the problem isn't even that they're dying, right? The problem is that this strategy revolves around Sephiroth being the water resist down, and his water resist down has an HP threshold attached to it. Yeah, see, look, I'm already under the threshold. Like, it didn't even matter. Yeah, look, that's crazy, dude. Okay. Oh, I went on auto by mistake. And now even the thing I was doing isn't gonna work now. Brother. It's hard for me to, this is why I don't take these guild battles seriously, by the way, in case anybody at home was curious. Until they fix this lag, like, that we have to deal with every single month, I can never, like, put too much effort into this. It's just not worth the effort. And especially because the rewards are just not worth, like, the time invested either. I know I'm sounding a little defeatist right now, but, like, that feature needs to be better than it is right now. It is Guild Battle 17, and it still lags. Because, like, the idea is you want to save your entire ATB bar throughout, like, it basically after it does the big AoE attack after the first sigil break phase. You want to hoard all of your ATB and then just overspeed and just burst it down, like burst the sigil break down, because you can't do damage to it while it's got those defensive walls up, right? The only thing that I can think of is you could probably, like, even then though, you're still doing way reduced damage. Let's see how much damage it does without breaking the sigils and just doing damage. I'm curious. Let's say 400,000. Took way too much damage. Look at that. See if I can get it back up. That AoE attack brought me below the threshold for water resist down again. Damn it, dude. I am doing significantly more damage this way. Maybe interrupt it. Now it's gonna go through that animation again. And now at this point, we're just cooked. Brother. Drive me fucking crazy. Yeah, because they don't live to this point, right? They're gonna die here. Well, Angeal won't, but like. That was way more damage than we did before. Yeah. So then the solution is to what? First sigil break phase, buff and debuff with Tifa and Sephiroth, and then have Angeal after he does the physical defense up, just use sigil breaks. And have Angeal break it on his own. And then afterwards, just flat out DPS. Just race it out. Right? Let's try it again. I think that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. I'll have to toy with this a lot offline before Saturday's attempts come through. But I think that's where I'm landing. So basically, we wait until Diamond's full, right? We're gonna Fortress Guard first. Just to make sure that everybody's got their physical defense up. Gonna do debuff and water resist down. And then just start queuing up Rune Rose here. Do enfeeble. So big attack buff here. And then these two should just take it out. And then hold, go. And just try to do literally as much damage as humanly possible. Water resist buff's about to stop. Sephiroth actually has enough HP for now. He actually has enough. Interrupted again. This will give us a water damage buff. These aren't gonna get off in time. That was greedy. I should have just waited. Oh, they did. Never mind. Go, go, go. Okay. This one does the most damage. Wait for it to flip. Wait for it to flip. Wait for it to flip. Don't use any of our buffs here until it uses its attack. Because it's just going to eliminate buffs here. It only does 2,500. We should be fine. Wait until it flips back over. Whenever it decides to. And then just hit for like the last bit of damage here. there. Oh my gosh. That's silly. Okay, so the big thing is that you want to have like things that are tied to HP threshold. You want to have them applied to the boss before the sigil break phase ends, right? So that way you can get the maximum amount of DPS in between sigil break phases. And then using the summons, yeah, to interrupt its second phase is definitely going to be a thing, for sure. Like, for sure. Yeah. This one's going to take some getting used to. I think this is probably going to be the best that I do, though. I can't imagine I'm going to do much better than this. Because those interrupt phases are so short. They're so short. I think that's it, y'all. I'm gonna toy with this a lot offline. Now we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it legit. Like, we're just gonna try to break the sigil break phases and go from there. I want to see what happens. Sort of. That's the best I've got for you right now, though, JD. Is a strong sort of. Welcome in, JD. Hope you're doing well. Chill for a sec. Oh, Tifa. Because if we can break the sigil break phase before this. Sorry, y'all, I'm dialed in. Give me 1 second. This is gonna be less damage though. I'll be damned. The reason why I did that, by the way, is because by the time it cast its attack, the timer was gonna go out anyways. Yeah, 14. Wow. Huh. All right, well, got my strat then. That was less scary, obviously, because I was, you know, high HP all the time. But that was 10% lower, but it's definitely a lot easier. Definitely a lot easier. Like, way easier. Years later, maybe. Yeah, that one was a lot easier. Like, obviously, it has some, like, flaws. But those flaws are generally made up by Bahamut, right? Because Bahamut gives that heal and it gives ATB back too when they're lower HP. So even if they do drop to low HP, like if Aerith drops to 70% or less, she's giving them a buff on top of it, right? Which isn't as bad. I might actually be able to switch back over to the more offensive side instead of having those HP weapons on, because we didn't even get close to dropping to low HP in that fight. But yeah, both of those teams are decent. I think this one is probably the better one, but it's going to be way more stressful. Way more stressful. But I think that's probably the way to go. Again, if you don't have all of the tools that they expect you to have. But I think even with the tools, man, this one's hard. This is a hard fight.